Welcome back to another episode of Theoretically Practical. Today, we're going hookah diving. This is my hookah dive rig. Please ignore how crappy the tube is. The sun does not do favors on them, and I did not put this one away properly. And, well, in any case, I wouldn't tow it behind a boat, but it's perfectly adequate for holding up my hookah rig. Now let's take a look at what the heck is a hookah rig. Well, if you've watched any like the gold rush shows with water, like the Bering Sea Gold, or the guys that go in the river and one of them's gonna die one day, I'm really convinced of that. They do the same kind of diving. So what it is you have a air pump and a gas motor on the surface. This has a little regulator, and in my case it has a pressure gauge that no longer works, but I should have gotten oil filled and that was my fault. And that goes through a air filter element in here and to a 60-foot hose, and then ends at a regulator, just like a regular dive setup. So except this regulator is different. This one is 110 to 140 psi, which is the pressure you use for hookah diving. So yeah, in any case, this is a pretty decent rig. I picked this up 8 years ago, I think. They're not super common. I found this one on Craigslist. A guy had paid 400 bucks for it. Guy got it with a boat, came with all the gear, came with a wetsuit that fit me. It still fits me, but you know, if I lost 10 pounds, it'd really fit me. But it is what it is. So yeah, so anyways, that's the rig. This isn't something that I've put together. This is made by Innovative Designs Incorporated, a company about which I can find nothing, so that makes you feel good. But the pump is a GAST PCA-15. It's an oil-free pump. It's appropriate for the application, doesn't make particulates. It's a very good, GAST is a very good pump brand if you happen to be in the know about pump brands. Why would you be? Why would I be? Well, all right. Anyways, so I did rebuild that pump completely. You can still get a rebuild kit for it. I took it all apart, put all new rings in it and everything like that. It's just like a piston pump, but it uses Teflon stuff that doesn't wear, or I don't know what it is. Anyways, so yeah, it's a pretty simple rig. This is the air intake up here. I've done a lot of diving with this, so I will say there's some things to know about hookah diving, right? All right, so if any of you guys actually dive here, you're gonna be looking at that setup and going, oh my God, you're gonna die underwater with that. And it's definitely not for people who are prone to panicking underwater. It says right on it that it can just shut off. Shouldn't be used by inexperienced divers, which didn't stop me, but that's fine. You are not supposed to use it for decompression level dives. So that really limits my depth to about 40 feet. I really rarely go over 20 feet deep with it. I like to use this to dive swimming holes and rivers and stuff like that. I do a little underwater metal detecting. I did find a gold pendant once and several watches. That's about it, but they weren't good watches. But it's still cool to find something, and we may find something today. So yeah, this is definitely something you don't do alone. I had a dive buddy with me, but they don't want to be on YouTube, so you won't see or hear from them in this episode. But don't dive alone. Don't dive in deep water with one of these rigs, like 40 feet, that's it. If you're gonna panic underwater, don't dive at all. And know your limits and be really careful. I probably have about 40 or 50 hours of diving under my belt with this over the last 5 or 6 years. So, I maybe more than that actually, but it's been a blast. I've really enjoyed it. So we're gonna start it up today, and we're gonna go over to, I don't know if you can even see them on there, but there's a couple of rocks right there. And I happen to know that next to the second rock in right there is an area where there's usually a large school of bass. So we're gonna go over there. I'm gonna park my boat a ways away. We're gonna hoon around the lake for a minute so you can watch the boat, because it's cool. The boat is my, I think it's a 91, I don't know, piece of shit ski boat. The good news is though, it's got a 351 Windsor under the hood, which, can I open it? It's under there. 260 odd horsepower. As my buddy likes to say, this thing hauls the mail. quite an upgrade over my other boat, which is named the Creamy Dreamer, and that's just a little 50-horse outboard boat, but I had that for 10 years and I've loved that boat. I beat the hell out of it and it's come back for more. As a call to action today, I'm gonna say, comment below, what should I name this boat? All right, it is an old beat to hell ski boat. It's a 1991 Ski Supreme, I think 1991. It says it's got a Borg Warner automatic transmission. Shits and gits. All right, guys. Well, you know, I said she hauls the mail, right? Well, now it's time. So as you can see, there's that little island there. There's a rock there and there. And then all the way out to about there, which is about 30 feet away from my boat actually, is just an underwater thing that will absolutely take the hull out of your boat. So this lake's a little bit tricky in that aspect, but the sun's going down. I think we've had enough for this week. Next week is going to be a deputy dog video for sure. And then probably back to the Defender because, you know, I'd like to drive it again in my lifetime. I mean, it's not necessary, but desirable. And with that note, it's time to head back to dock, put all my crap away, and we might do this another time. There's definitely some nice swimming holes where I can video some trout instead of some bass, because variety is the spice of life. And there's part of a wreck of a tugboat off the coast about 3 hours from me. It's not 3 hours off the coast, it's 3 hours from me, it's right off the coast. And I think I'd like to try to dive that this year. So let me know if you guys want to see that, and if you have a good name for my boat, you know, post it below. I might call it that. And away